Welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to share something really special with you today. I recently stumbled across this incredible allegory buried in a deeply profound lecture, and man, I just had to create an explainer to break it all down for us. We're going to be looking at a fascinating discourse on the ancient text Srimad Bhagavatam, specifically Canto 8, Chapter 7, Text 39, which was delivered by Radhanath Swami.
To give you a little context, let me set the scene explicitly. I found this timeless wisdom in a recording from Pune, India, dated exactly August 30th, 1995. On that day, Radhanath Swami delivered an absolutely masterful breakdown of human nature and spirituality. So he's going to serve as the brilliant source for our explainer today. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the blazing forest fire, then examine the trap of the ego. After that, we'll explore churning the inner ocean, witness swallowing the world's poison, arrive at the path of self-service, and finally finish up with a summary of main points.
Section 1, The Blazing Forest Fire and the Illusion of the Material World.
To really understand the universal human condition, that endless anxiety, conflict, and unquenchable desire we all feel sometimes, Radhanath Swami identifies our basic bewilderment using a really powerful Sanskrit term, samsara davanala. It translates to a blazing forest fire. This fire represents the dangerous, constantly burning condition of materialistic life and the animosity it just naturally breeds. Basically, we think we are just our material bodies, and that fundamental misunderstanding, that's the very spark that ignites this inescapable blazing fire in our lives.
So let's look at exactly how this fire is fueled. First, by thinking we are purely physical bodies. Second, by believing that everything around us exists solely for our own personal enjoyment. And third, through engaging in constant animosity and conflict just to get what we want. The tragic irony here, and it really is tragic, is that the more we try to find peace through these material misconceptions, the more we end up fighting a relentless war within our own minds. Section 2, The Trap of the Ego, Why Fame and Pleasure Never Satisfy. Think of our senses like a literal fire. If you throw fuel onto a fire, does it go out? No way, it only becomes hungrier. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the contrast between our different types of senses. We have our gross senses. These are our physical desires that constantly demand pleasure, but ultimately bring misery when we indulge them. But then we have the subtle senses, the mind, intelligence, and the false ego. These intensely crave honor, distinction, and fame. And as Radhanath Swami points out, these subtle senses of the ego are actually far more dangerous and honestly far more insatiable than our physical desires.
To really drive this point home, the Swami shared a specific anecdote about the biggest celebrities and politicians. Even the most famous entertainers live in constant fear and anxiety of losing their popularity. Behind closed doors, many of the people we idolize are secretly miserable. They are absolutely terrified of being replaced or forgotten, which just proves that feeding the subtle ego brings zero lasting peace. Section 3. Churning the Inner Ocean. An allegory for spiritual struggle. To find a way out of this trap, we have to look at a historical story from the Srimad Bhagavatam regarding the churning of the ocean of milk. In this ancient Sanskrit story, we have two groups. First, the demigods, who represent our inner devotional side, eager to sacrifice and serve. And then, the demons, representing our dark, demonic side, that's just eager to enjoy and exploit. Radhanath Swami masterfully maps these characters to our modern psychology, explaining that these exact two forces are constantly locked in a bitter battle within our own hearts. Let's move to and see how this builds, stepping through how this spiritual struggle plays out. Step 1. The demigods and demons actually work together to churn the great ocean to find the nectar of immortality. But in step 2, before any nectar appears, a deadly poison called hala emerges. Step 3, Lord Shiva heroically steps in to drink the poison. And only then, in step 4, is the ultimate nectar of devotion finally revealed. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is that deadly poison? It's called hala, and it represents our envy, pride, greed, lust, and anger. Radhanath Swami emphasizes that as we begin to seek spiritual nectar and purify our hearts, the absolute ugliest parts of our ego are forced to the surface first. Just like in the story, this toxic poison threatens to literally destroy everything if it isn't dealt with. Section 4. Swallowing the World's Poison. Lord Shiva's Ultimate Sacrifice. This is the pivotal moment where Lord Shiva makes the ultimate sacrifice. The poison was about to wipe out the entire universe,
and someone had to act. So he gathered all of this deadly poison and drank it himself. As it slid down, it turned his throat black, earning him the name Nilakanta. This really powerful image symbolizes his supreme surrender to save humanity. He proved that true mobility isn't about sitting comfortably on a throne. It's about taking on incredible hardship and pain for the well-being and survival of others. This brings me to my absolute favorite part of the lecture. Listen to this. Wise people have said that if you do not have something that you're willing to die for, you have nothing in this world that's worth living for. I mean, wow. Right? That is the central revelation I took away from Radhanath Swami's discourse. We have to find a purpose greater than our own comfort. Section 5, the path of selfless service and finding true happiness in bhakti. So how do we actually apply Lord Shiva's epic sacrifice to our daily lives? The answer is bhakti. Bhakti is defined as unconditional loving service to the Supreme. It is completely free from selfish desires for wealth, fame, or even personal liberation. You can think of bhakti as the ultimate antidote to that blazing forest fire we discussed at the very beginning of this explainer. It's the water that finally puts out the flames of material anxiety. And this brilliantly illustrates what this looks like in the modern world. Radhanath Swami shared a vivid anecdote of his own teacher, Srila Prabhupada. He braved freezing cold weather, abject poverty, and multiple heart attacks on a cargo ship to America at an advanced age, all just to share this true happiness with the West. He is a perfect modern example of someone willing to swallow the world's poison for the benefit of others. Because ultimately, the greatest expression of love is giving others the means to free themselves from the painful cycle of birth and death. Bringing real, lasting spiritual intelligence to others is absolutely the highest form of charity we can offer in a degraded, anxious world. It's not about money, it's about awakening the soul. Section 6, Summary of Main Points. Key takeaways. I want to quickly distill the absolute core takeaways from this incredible 1995 lecture. So the crucial points are these. Materialistic life and our own ego act like an unquenchable fire. Inside our hearts, we hold both exploitative and devotional tendencies. As we try to purify ourselves, we are inevitably forced to face our inner poison. True spiritual heroes are those who are willing to sacrifice their own comfort for humanity. And finally, unconditional loving service, or bhakti, is the one and only source of true lasting peace. I want to leave you with a question to chew on today. Knowing that true nobility requires sacrifice, what poison are you willing to swallow today for the true well-being of the people around you? Think about it. I hope this explainer sparked your curiosity as much as it did mine. Keep learning, keep serving, and I'll catch you next time.